with preseason well underway, now people are starting to push those 2023 NFL mock drafts. So it's time for Broshmo to get back into the game, do my own mock draft, and that's what we're gonna do today. I'm a little under the weather today, but it is what it is. I got OJ. I'm gonna be a-okay. We're gonna be using the PFF simulator because it lets you do your basically a modified draft order, and I'm doing this based off my deep dive series. It's basically where I went through every team and did predictions for them. So if you got a question why a team's so high or so low, just go check out that team's episode. Maybe I just think your team sucks. So yeah, without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and get into this sucker. We will have our top 200 big board next week. So because I'm feeling a lot better today, but still far from 100%. I imagine next week I'm going to be feeling tip top. But the Seahawks, they're number one. You got to imagine they're going with one of the quarterback prospects, because I don't imagine Geno Smith or was it Drew Lock are going to be the final answers, the end all be all. So I'm going to go with my top quarterback prospect in Bryce Young. If you don't know, hey, my prospect rankings are already out, so go check those out. So Atlanta's got a weird position because I'd more than likely, I think personally, I would probably go with quarterback. Like Desmond Ritter's looked actually all right in the preseason. And I think like the worst case scenario, it's like, okay, we take two shots at the quarterback position and we end up with two good quarterbacks. That's kind of great. Don't mind that. But this is a team that's had such a dog water pass rush for so long. And in a draft that is just filled with, there's a lot of good pass rushers in this class. And I would say the pair of Will Anderson and Myles Murphy is better than this past season's pair of Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't know. Maybe they're pretty comparable. I like this year's better. So Atlanta, I'm gonna go with a Will Anderson. It's kind of 1A, 1B for me between him and Myles Murphy. But maybe, hey man, maybe you like Desmond Ridder and you're like, you know what? Maybe we don't need to go with Stroud. There's a lot of questions when it comes to Stroud. Like a lot of people riding the hype of that Utah game expect that he is a prospect with arrows just pointing up. But you gotta remember, earlier parts of the season, he didn't look all that spectacular. But I think by the end, we're going to be talking about that cat like as one of the first prospects off the board. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got Trevor Lawrence. I don't think you're giving up on him just yet. You kind of got to go with just the best talent on the board, which, I mean, Myles Murphy is tempting here. Because I know they just got Travon Walker. You got to imagine maybe they keep Josh Allen. I think this year's his contract year or something like that. I think regardless, like Jalen Carter is probably the call here. He's going to be like a prospect number 3 for a lot of people. 3 or 4. Like he's a top 5 prospect. Dude's a monster. So, yeah. No, what? Didn't they just cut Malcolm Brown? They don't really got too much going on the interior. Am I right? Let's take a look at the roster. Like they got a bunch of okay players. Like Fadukasi, that's awesome. Like he's gonna be a guy that it's gonna like account for a lot of double teams. Like Roy Robertson Harris is like fine. Like he's fine. He's not bad. Devon Hamilton hasn't really done much. Jay Tufele hasn't really done much. So yeah, going with Jalen Carter actually makes a ton of sense. All right, on to the New York Jets. Listen, I just assume if I said New York Jets, New York Giants, I just assume DJ's on the way out at this point. Let's go ahead, grab a quarterback. Makes a ton of sense. We get the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And it being CJ Stroud. I legit, I think CJ Stroud's going to be really, really good. Like, I guess I'm buying into the hype, I suppose. I don't really think it's like hype or anything. Like, I think that he's a good prospect. He got better as the year went on. I think now he comes to his second year of commanding the offense, and he should look all right. He should look good. So Houston, I don't think you have to force a quarterback. If we're picking 5, man, you got to believe quarterback's on the table for Houston, but I don't think you got to force it. I think arguably the top 5 prospects in this class are Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, CJ Stroud, and Miles Murphy. And pass rush has been something. It's kind of been a struggle for the Houston Texans, so we don't have to force quarterback. Let's just go ahead and get good prospects. By the way, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. And the popular thing now to do on YouTube, if you really support the channel, is to share the video. So go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead, get back to the nitty gritty. And then the New York Jets, obviously with the Mekhi Becton news, the unfortunate setback. They bring in Dwayne Brown, but he's really just a Band-Aid. You got to really start looking at the future of that position. I'm telling you, by the end of the year, I think we're going to have 1 or 2 offensive tackles that we consider top 10. It's just, we might not see it right now just because I think the bulk of the guys, like your Broderick Jones, who's only played 4 games at tackle there at Georgia, or Paris Johnson, who hasn't played any games at tackle for Ohio State, mainly played guard last year. Just those guys, a lot of people are going to be like, we prefer to see it before we believe it. I think one of those guys are going to emerge. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Broderick Jones. I'm a big fan of his. I think he was my number 1 offensive tackle. You go check that out. I did my rankings not too long ago. The Washington football team, man, this one's always an interesting one. It's like I thought about quarterback, but like I really feel like they're like financially they're just so invested in Carson Wentz at this point. I don't know what that'll have to look like, or what that'll look like to get out of that. So initially I thought quarterback, but I think honestly I'm just going to go with the best prospect on the board at a position in need. I really think they need better, like just more quarterback talent. I imagine if they're picking at 7, there's going to be an overhaul of the coaching staff, but I don't know. We'll see. Keely Ringo is my top cornerback. I think he's far away the top corner in this class. Huge fan, so I got him going to Washington. Let me go ahead, adjust this for your viewing. There we go. Ooh, and now we got the Detroit Lions. All right. I think quarterback would make a ton of sense here. Like, if you're sitting here at 8, then I think it's kind of like, let's see who makes it, because you got to believe that Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they're not going to make it out of the top 5. So you're going to kind of be stuck with 1 or 2, hopefully, if we don't see a very quarterback like hungry top 5. Like we did see that back in, was it 2021? Yeah, 2021, where it was oh my gosh, my mind's blanking. It's the sickness. It was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and then we saw like Justin Fields and Mac Jones kind of slip. But I don't know, you get to pick that 3rd quarterback. I guess have your pick of who you think it is. I'm going to go with Tyler Van Dyke. As a Hurricanes fan, I'm just hoping for the best. And here we go. Tyler Van Dyke. Guy's a former high school pitcher. He could throw at a lot of different angles. He could throw at a lot of different speeds. He actually's got pretty good touch on the ball. So, yeah, we're going to see more of a an offense that allows him to have checkdowns. Like last year, he had a very vertical passing scheme. So it's like, okay, who's my check down? Oh, they're 15 yards down the field. Oh boy. It's like, come on. But Detroit, yeah, they could go with the quarterback. You got 2 picks in this draft. Why not? Chicago Bears, I've been screaming, hey, just get Justin Fields some weapons. Now that there's questions on the offensive line about, I guess, Tevin Jenkins. They're not a fan of him anymore. So it's like, oh, they could very well go tackle. It's like, you know what, screw that. Let's stick with the plan of getting him weapons. And I'm going to go with Kayshon Boutte. I'm a fan of the Boutte. So they get a playmaker in Kayshon Boutte. I like that very much. So Carolina Panthers. Man, this one's tough too. Because one way or another, they're going to find out if Baker's their guy or not. I really think that's the question. Like Sam Darnold, they're aware Sam Darnold's not the guy. But Baker, is he the guy? I mean, they didn't spend a lot to get him. Well, granted, the contract this year is kind of woof, but still, you didn't have to invest a ton. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna feel good about going with Baker, going forward with Baker. So maybe they just go with the best player available. For me, I think the Panthers, at least defensively, if we look at the defense, because offense, of course, they got a ton of questions. But defensively, having a consistent pass rush has always been kind of an issue. You'd be like, what? Oh, like Hassan Reddick, he kind of lit it on fire last year. And like Brian Burns has been this consistent. I don't know. That's where you stop. He's been consistent. Like, okay, let's go look at how Brian Burns has done. Because, hey, straight up, I'm a big fan of Brian Burns. But he really hasn't had that breakout season yet, if we're going to be honest. So maybe getting someone next to him like Yatir Gross-Matos, he's kind of not proven yet. So maybe he comes out as a really good year. But, of course, it's on preseason games for this year. There we go. So, like Brian Burns, he had 51 pressures, 9 sacks. Like, straight up, man. I'm like that was like last year. He had the year before 2020, 57 pressures, 10 sacks. Like I need to see you get to that 70 to 80, like total, man. So I don't know, man. I think he's very capable of it. I'm a huge fan, so we'll see. But maybe getting some little extra help would work out well. And I think that you could go here with Andre Carter, a guy who's got ridiculous length, just a ridiculous frame, and a really good athlete. Get him inside an NFL weight room, and oh man, that honestly could do freaking wonders. So yeah, even if Brian Burns ends up emerging as like a very top tier pass rusher, like I believe he can. Like I feel like him and Josh Allen are very much in the same boat here. Both the guys that they've eclipsed like 50 pressures in a season, but they're not that constant pass rush disruptor, you know? They can be better, so we'll see. But adding more pressure along the line, never the wrong answer, I will say that. My Miami Dolphins, this is actually their pick via San Francisco. I really think after doing like San Francisco's video, it's like I feel like they're going to be a much better team, especially better than the Cardinals, but this is what happened. Anyway, so Miami gets to pick. This is the Niners pick. We know later on the Dolphins get to forfeit their draft pick, which, yay, good for them. But if I'm the Dolphins here, because I am a Dolphins fan, by the way, this one's kind of tough. There's definitely a variety of different ways they can go, but if I am correct, our boy Mike Gesicki is on the franchise tag. So maybe there's not a way that they're going to keep him. So I'm going to go ahead with tight end. And I'm actually going to be safe. I'm going to go with Michael Mayer. There's Eric Gilbert, but I think Mayer, just with his ability as a blocker, also he didn't sit out for personal reasons, for whatever they may be. It's just there's a little more consistency with Michael Mayer. We know what he could do as a pass catcher, so we know how important that is in a Mike McDaniel offense. So I'm gonna go with it here. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see. I really think right now their cornerback group really needs a little touch up. I believe they're putting Cameron Sutton back in the nickel, hopefully. But they got Levi Wallace, they got Witherspoon, which those are fine. But I feel like if any team, you wouldn't mind adding more talent. The cornerback position's such a volatile position. So going with the next corner on my board would actually be Cam Smith, guy that's just a freaking ball hawk. He's got a rough mentality when it comes to the catch point, where he is very strong at the catch point. He will make a receiver earn every catch. So yeah, no, I think that would be a good fit for the Steelers. The Minnesota Vikings, I actually really like what I'm about to do with this pick. So I think it makes a ton of sense. I think this team's going to want to get more wide receiver help. I think they're going to want to add more wide receivers. And I think Jackson Smith-Njigba makes too much sense from a guy that basically Cooper Kupp just exploded under his watch. He's like, yeah, let me get one of the best slot receivers in college football. And on top of that, you see a guy like, who's their other receiver out there? His name's escaping my, I want to say it's KJ Osborne, right? I should know this. He's a former Hurricane. It's KJ Osborne. A guy that actually split time on the outside and in the slot last year. We know Adam Thielen, he's getting a little bit long in the tooth. Like, what exactly? Adam Thielen, how old are you exactly? Ooh, 31. You're about to be 32 years old. So, yeah, he's getting a little bit long in the tooth. So, I think just adding more receiving help to that room would go a long way. I kind of like that. All right, on to the New England Patriots. They could do a variety of different things here, right? We could go with corner back help, though. It's like this is a team that really hasn't, I would say, really hasn't invested in quarterback help in quite some time. Like thinking of other things they could do. I really think tackle is going to be an area they could go, because Isaiah Wynn's a free agent. Trent Brown is never healthy, so maybe they could bring in a tackle. Like I really do think that there's going to be like a top like the two tackles are probably go in the top 10. I really think that at least these guys are capable of that. So I'm going to go with Paris Johnson. I'm a big fan of Paris Johnson. It might be the best human being in this draft class, if we're being honest. Let's see. We got the Houston Texans. We went with Myles Murphy. This is our second first-round pick. So let's go ahead and swing for the fences at quarterback with Anthony Richardson, AR-15. Swinging for the fences. Dolphins, we get to forfeit our pick. Yay. But here we are with the Tennessee Titans. I think going with the offensive line makes a ton of sense. Peter Skoronski, whether you see him as this is going to be the thing with him. Does the NFL see him as a guard or a tackle? It's like, we've seen guys with arm length succeed on the outside. Penny Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Jonah Williams. I don't know. For some teams, that's going to be like a make or break thing. Also, you could say his skill set is more of an interior guy. The guy did come in as a top center recruit and really only played left tackle because of necessity, because Rashawn Slater opted out. So, I don't know. I think he's still going to be in that top 15, top 20 vicinity. And actually, for a team like Tennessee, that you're starting to see this offensive line really decline, would be a huge help. Because, like, let's be serious. The engine to your offense is Derrick Henry. So, yeah, make sure that the everything outside of the hood, like cosmetically, needs to look good. And right now, that offensive line is not looking good. So let's go ahead and take Peter Skoronski right here for Tennessee. And then we got the I said Oakland. Man, that's such a tough one. Las Vegas Raiders. Honestly, I was trying to think, what is something like, what would be something Bill Belichick would do? I know it's Josh McDaniels. I don't know if he would really, like, if he feels good enough about the offense, I don't think he'd really force an offensive pick here. And he might just go with a very talented player to add to that defense. So I think Brian Brazzi, let me make sure I got that name right. So I go to my pronunciations. Brian Brazzi, there we go. I think would be a good addition there on the interior for the Raiders. So I'm going to go with that. I think it's just, at this point, it's like, oh man, the talent, you just can't pass up on that talent. You know, honestly, he could have gone a few picks earlier, but yeah, I just don't think you could pass up on it at that point. This is one of two Philadelphia Eagles picks, and I'm going to use this first one, to address the edge position, because for one, Derek Barnett, I don't think there's going to be a long-term future here for him. And then, of course, you got Brandon Graham, who's getting up there in dog years. So I think we could go with the edge position. And the next guy on my board, Isaiah Foskey. I think he's a high ceiling, or a high floor, actually he's a high floor, high ceiling, like, because the dude's just got ridiculous length. He's got a great build. Will he ever achieve what that potential is? I don't know. We'll see this year at Notre Dame. Notre Dame it's kind of wonky what they ask him to do, but overall, like, Foskey, I think, is a really good prospect. Dude, Arizona Cardinals, this one's kind of a no-brainer. They kind of have to go corner. They have one of the worst cornerback rooms in all of football, so we're going to go with Eli Ricks. Some people like Ricks, some people don't. Hey, dude, you do you. You do you. All right, we're back, dude. We're back to the Eagles, and you know what? I could see why a lot of people like to put Bijan here for the Eagles. But I think instead I'm going to go with my top safety prospect. Uh-oh. Where's he at? Is he my top? Oh, this is all wonky. They got Garrett Williams listed as a safety. Did they list him as a corner? Anyway, I'm going to be going with, here we go, Brian Branch. There's going to be questions, is he really just this guy that can play in the nickel? I think from his skill set, he's actually a guy that can be very versatile. I think he's a very wonderful athlete with a good nose for the football. Just a good player to have in that secondary. So I think helping out the secondary is huge. So going with the defense there for both Philadelphia picks, I think makes sense. And I'm not going to lie, I think the Bijan pick makes a little sense as well. Pardon me. All right, we got the Indianapolis Colts, and you know what? This team has been missing the speed of T.Y. Hilton. They've been really missing that just that capability, like a guy that can be this vertical threat speed wise, or a guy that can literally just run away from coverage underneath. So I like the idea. Is I know they brought in Alec Pierce. I know that they got Michael Pittman. But I think just adding more to that, you go for it. And I'm going to go with Jermaine Burton, a guy I'm really high on. I think he's going to explode at Alabama this year. Really do. Baltimore Ravens, for me, this was a no-brainer. And I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson. Listen, the running game is a huge facet of your offense. And like Bijan's not only a guy that can line up in the backfield, I think he can line up in the slot or on the outside. You could get real fun with how you use Bijan. But with all the injuries you've had, like to J.K. Dobbins, there we go. It's been so long, it feels like I forgot his name. But J.K. Dobbins, I know, hasn't been around for quite a while. To be fair, he was out for like the whole season. Gus Edwards as well, but Bijan I think just brings you a bit more. So like, this is a team that like I really don't think you could go wrong with wherever you pick if you want to go receiver here. I think Bijan still kind of fulfills that. You know, it's like, oh man, maybe we want to go with a guy that could like I don't even know, man. It's like it just feels right. I don't know. It's hard projecting running backs in the first round because if it's me personally, I probably won't do it. But Bijan's kind of different. On to the Seattle Seahawks. This is their second pick of the first round via the Denver Broncos in that Russell Wilson trade. If you don't remember, Seahawks, they got Bryce Young at the beginning of this draft. And here, I scrolled too far down. There we go. So now we're here with their second pick, and they are kind of moving more towards this 3-4. And really last season, I think it was, I'm trying to think specifically who was the run stuffer at nose tackle and who was supposed to be the pass rusher at nose. I'm pretty sure Al Woods was the run stuffer for this defense at nose tackle last year. Let me just confirm. Regardless, our pick here is going to be Sika Ika. You get a nice pass rush and nose tackle. All right, let's go here. So, okay, yes, Al Woods was more of the run stuffer, while Brian Moan was okay. Let's just say that. He was okay. So, grabbing a guy there on the interior there that can actually cause a lot of havoc, and at the very least, he's going to be just this someone who could cause a pile up there in the middle. I like the idea of that. This interior class is actually really good, so like watch out for it. Dallas Cowboys, I don't know, man. They're such a hard team to figure out. I think I got last year. I think I got their pick right. I said Tyler. I'm pretty sure this is the one where I said Tyler Smith. I can't remember. I mean, you could always go back and quote me on that, but I thought I may have got that right. Whatever, it is what it is. With this one, I'm going to go with Trent Simpson. There aren't a lot of good coverage linebackers there on the squad. Jabril Cox kind of hoping, but still, we haven't seen it yet because of the injury. So let's go ahead with Trent Simpson. We get our pick of the linebacker in this class, and I absolutely love Trent Simpson and the skill set he brings. And then we got the Detroit Lions. And this might be a little weird because it feels like that they have a bunch of pass rush. I mean, they have Aiden Hutchinson. They have guys like Julian and Romeo Akawara. They have Charles Harris. But I don't know, man. I feel like if you can always improve the pass rush, go for it. And I feel like we're kind of at a position right there where it's like, okay, forget having a bunch of guys that probably can do it well. Can we just get like dominant pass rushers in here across from Aiden Hutchinson? Because like Charles Harris, I imagine isn't that guy. Like he's been doing well, but I just imagine he isn't that guy. So I'm gonna go with Felix Enudike Uzama, and of course, let me go check the pronunciation of that name. Enudike Uzama. Okay, I got it. I nailed it. Perfect. This guy's been very impressive for Kansas State. He's consistent in his pressures per game, but it's weird. Like a lot of the sacks will show up in like 2 or 3 games, but it's like consistently he's like a 3 to 5 pressure guy per game. The Bengals. This one's actually a little bit difficult. And I ended up going with Antonio Johnson. Whether it's safety, slot, or even there on the outside at corner, I think he's capable of playing it. He's got a very diverse or a very versatile body to be able to do that. So whether they're maybe looking for an upgrade over Von Bell or maybe over Eli Apple or maybe some guy to challenge Mike Hilton. So there we go. I think it's just good value here as well. Kansas City, this one I'm rolling the dice on. And I'm going to go with Eric Gilbert. I'm going to get a phenomenal receiving tight end because how old is Travis Kelce? He's 32. He's going to be 33 this year. So it's like maybe looking for the future is not a bad idea. And Eric Gilbert's not a guy you have to just traditionally keep there at tight end. Obviously, he's a guy you can kick outside or in the slot. Same with Kelce. So just grabbing more weapons and kind of like padding your future, if you will. But then we got the Buffalo Bills. If you're not new to the channel, you know I'm not a huge Tremaine Johnson fan or Tremaine Edmonds fan. So I'm going to go ahead and get his replacement in Noah Sewell. I think he will become more of a he will be better at wrapping the ball carrier up this year. The dude just has that hit stick mentality, so I think he cleans up as a tackler this year. I really do. All right, on to the Green Bay Packers. This one's so hard because it's like, oh, they should go receiver, but when do the Packers ever like to help out Aaron Rodgers? But you know what? Like, if I'm being honest, like, Quentin Johnson, like Johnston, kind of a similar player to Devontae Adams. It like stylized, like, well, obviously we're not comparing talents. Devontae Adams is like a league of his own, but stylized, kind of a similar player. And I love how dominant he is. I would love that addition. Because you got Christian Watson, who's more of a run away from you guy, where Quentin Johnson's more of a I'm going to make you feel small by comparison type of guy. So I kind of like that. Chargers, I kind of had a tough one with this, but I like the idea of adding maybe a little speed. How old is Keenan Allen, actually? Keenan, 30. Okay, it's not bad. So, I don't know, man. They got Geitz in there, but I think adding Jordan Addison's not a bad option here at the tail end of the first. I mean, where else am I really going? Like, I don't want to take one of the linebackers in this class. Like, after Sewell and honestly Simpson are the only ones right now I'd be willing to take in the first round. So it's like, let's hold off. Let's wait till we see some guys emerge or take that next step up. I think looking on the interior maybe for some guys isn't a bad idea either, because guys like Jaquelin Roy. I don't think Roy's a good fit for Brandon Staley's system. Gervin Dexter would definitely is a consideration, but I just like adding weapons for Justin Herbert. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think why not go ahead and shoot your shot. Kyle Trask, I don't think is it. Let's go with Tanner McKee, dude. Big fan of Tanner McKee. So that's it. That's my mock draft. We will see it soon. Here it is. So yeah, you let me know what you think in the comments section below. I know you guys like being critical of my picks. I don't think there's much to complain about here. I think it's a fine looking draft. I don't know. You let me know in the comment section below. But that's it for the video. I'm going to focus on the rest of this week to get healthy so I can make videos for you next week. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.